Hi there, it's Debbie Debickus and welcome. Today's consultation or topic is going to be regarding loneliness, the feeling of loneliness. And what I mean by that is, in the hypnotherapy world, in my world, loneliness means to me a deep sadness, a deep hurt, a deep pain. And when we feel that, it's very uncomfortable. And that is a lonely feeling. There's something missing. There's an emptiness. And how that plays out when clients come and see me may surprise you. Because the clients that come and see me, nobody would ever, in the wildest dreams, imagine that that person is lonely. And it's the most successful clients that often come to me, and they've achieved so much. But when they go home at night, there's a feeling inside, a feeling in their gut, a feeling in their heart, a feeling inside in their throat that just has them feeling so uncomfortable, and they feel lonely. And it mostly happens when they are alone. I'm going to give you a few examples of this and how I help them through working to change that loneliness inside so they can have an emotional, state of happiness and joy and completeness. So let's start off with an example, and let's use Fred. Fred is a client that I've been working with on and off for a few years. And I met Fred when I was in the UK. And Fred's a very successful career person, high up on the ladder, high up on the chain, travels a lot, is married and has children, and he seems to be very confident. When he's in town in his Edinburgh office, people will go, "Wow, Fred's in town, this is great." He seems to bring life and soul to his team. Nobody would think for 1 minute that there was a part of Fred that felt anything other than happiness and confident. He would reach his targets, he would delegate tasks, he was financially secure. Even after work, he would come home and busy, doing things with the family and events and barbecues and taking his son to football and going to do swimming lessons, and he was always busy. Even when he was with his wife, they had date nights, they would do things together. But when he came online actually to work with me, he said that inside it, he feels not good. He feels sad, he feels hurt. And even when he's with his wife, they'll go out for dinner and come back and perhaps even be intimate, make love, whatever. But there was something that he felt missing, something inside him. And that played out as he got older, that used to make him want to detach. And the reason that it came to me was he was feeling the detachment and connection with his wife. And he didn't want that. He loved her, they were childhood sweethearts. So what I did was I asked Fred, "When did you notice this happening?" And he said he kind of remembers it when he got his promotion. He got his promotion to the highest level that the company he worked for could give him. So in fact, he'd reached his goal there. So he was getting more time off, he was having more time to delegate, so he was actually having more alone time. His kids weren't demanding so much on him as a dad. His wife worked part-time and she was building her career more that the children were getting older. But Fred was like, "I'm alone quite a lot and I just don't feel good." So what I did with Fred was I said, "What feeling do you have inside?" He said, "It's just I'm lonely. Even when I'm with my wife, I just feel sad, feel as if I'm on my own, feel very alone." And he said, even when I'm going to the football game with his son, who was, I think, about 12, 13 then, he said, "I'm okay when I'm edging him on, but when he goes with his friends after football practice and I'm myself, I just feel down." And he said, it's making me tired, and it's just making me not want to be around people. So I used that behaviour as an example of how this was affecting him. And after a couple of sessions online, he began to trust me and felt comfortable with me. And I started talking to him about the patterns. Can he see any patterns in the way that he's living his life now to the patterns that he was living when he was a young boy? And he said to me, Debbie, my mum and dad were never really that connected. They would do their own thing, and that's the way that I saw life. And I think back now, and how I'm living my life kind of resembles that. But this emptiness I can't remember feeling that then, but I feel it now. So what we discovered was the beliefs that he held about himself were that, he wasn't any good. There was a part of him that didn't feel enough, that felt lazy, that felt stupid, and that felt that, he wasn't listened to, he wasn't heard. And the more that we dug into the subconscious to realize his beliefs that were playing out today, we then regressed that part of him that felt it in his gut, a way back to where those feelings came from. And it took him back to school. He had a big sister and big brother who were really doing well in school. They were getting their A's and going off to university, and he felt the pressure on him. And no matter how good he tried to do with his reading and tutors at school and things, and his parents being very supportive, that perception of not enough, different, not as good as them, were really installed him, and it actually hurt him. So he would try really hard but feel sad and push and suppress that emotion down. Well, of course, in his adulthood, when he was busy being dad and busy being, career man and building, that kind of suppression of emotion and negative beliefs were sort of sitting at bay. They were like in this big balloon waiting in the ocean. So when things were changing a few years ago in his life, when he got his promotion, there was nowhere else to go where that was concerned. And his kids were needing him less and less, and his wife was finding her own independence with her own career now. That ball in the ocean was coming to light, and it hurt, and it was sad, and the loneliness would come in. And we worked on that, and it was quite amazing how when we discovered and understood where it came from, we were able to let it go and transform it and allow Fred to really accept the beauty of life now, with pride that he had reached his goal in his career. His wife and him were having this independence together, that she was having her independence, he was having his. So when they're together, it became really connected. So he allowed himself to be fully present with her in intimacy and in lovemaking and in fun. And it took maybe a few sessions, and I'm still in touch with Fred to this day. This was in Edinburgh a few years ago, and I don't do sessions with Fred anymore. But Fred isn't his real name, by the way. But I do see through Facebook, shall I say, that he's doing good. He's in a really good place. If you can relate to that at all, that loneliness feeling inside, and you want to go back to perhaps where that goes to, so we can erase it, eliminate it, change it. Or you don't even have to go back to where it came from. Just to allow yourself to accept you in the present moment, in living your truth today, the different techniques we can do. Thank you for listening. And again, if anyone can relate to this loneliness feeling, because it plays out in some really uncomfortable ways. Just before we end this consultation, one of my other clients used to rock. Every time she went to bed, she would rock her pillow to sleep. Just rock. And she came to me and couldn't understand why I kept rocking all the time. We went back to that little child in her of 3, and her mother suffered so much depression that she would lie on her mum's bed, a 3-year-old girl, and just rock with her to feel soothing. It's fascinating how our subconscious mind picks up so much. But again, there is a root cause of loneliness, and that's sadness, hurt and pain. Again, please contact me. I'd love to work with you on this issue. I've got a passion for this because for years I too suffered that pain, hurt inside me of severe loneliness, no matter what I achieved. Again, you can email me at debbiedubikis@gmail.com or contact me through my webpage. Thank you. Bye for now.